Hello, and this is a video I thought I still had some time before I was going to make. But on February 7th of 2025, approximately 9:23:24 p.m., my mother, Vatrani-Lek Chatanan, passed away. It was not a surprise, but it definitely was unexpected. And I decided that I'd create a series of videos for my mother and kind of memorial to it. This first video, I think, will be about kind of just to explain a little bit more of who she is. I started an interview series with her a few years back to test my camera gear out, funny enough. And I thought it'd be good to actually use that footage. I never really planned on using it, but it has some good info. Just to kind of preface those videos, because there really isn't a rhyme or reason to it. I just needed Mom to talk while I was testing things out on the camera. So I decided that I'd ask her about her life. And just real briefly, to kind of give some context, because there will be many, many different aspects of her life that are discussed or that I asked her about. And it was cool to learn about it, and I'm happy I did now. But Mom was born in Bangkok back in October of 1957. She was born into a family of 14 children. She was born to my grandfather's second wife. The first wife passed away in giving childbirth to the 10th child. I don't know the rankings of each, but I do know that it is 7 boys and 7 girls. And that my grandfather, with his second wife, had 4 children. So my direct family, if you wanted to call them that, would be the eldest aunt, my mom's older sister, my mother, my mom's youngest sister, and then my mom, the youngest being her brother, or my uncle. And the 14 of them grew up pretty well, actually, in the restaurant business. Grandfather started in Thailand with a little barbecue. I forget what they're called, but it's a small barbecue pit that was easy to be carried around. He would carry it on a pole over his shoulder, and one side would be the barbecue and the other side would be skewers of meat, which we called satay. And he would go kind of from school to school when they were getting off class, or the students were just finishing up their day. He would go wait at the gates and he would sell barbecued meat, satay, and he'd charge by the skewer. And from that, he was able to earn enough to get his restaurant, which my mom would eventually grow up in. And this was kind of the beginning for her, as her attitude, her personality, just her persons, really. It came out from loving to work, and she worked every day. She would go to all the coworkers at the restaurant and spend her time learning how to do all the various jobs, and she always wanted to help out. And it's not like this didn't come at a cost. her grades apparently at that time were atrocious, and she'll go more into that herself in the interview. But there was a turning point to where mom wanted more, and she started to learn and become aware of her surroundings and what she had to do in order to succeed in life, according to her. She would then study really hard and was able to get into a high school in Malaysia. And from that high school, she was really able to study English and Mandarin before transferring to the United States, or graduating from high school, I should say, and getting accepted into Diablo Valley College in Pleasant Hill, just about 40 minutes from her house, maybe even less actually, probably more like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from this current house that I'm standing in. And she was able to succeed in transferring to CSU, or Cal State University Hayward, as it was called at the time, now currently known as East Bay, where she graduated with a degree in finance. And she took that knowledge and went with her. Her first couple of jobs, I should step back here, were kind of just low end, I guess you could put it. Not that they're not important, because I think every job is important. But she worked as a nanny, as a housekeeper, as a caretaker. And that was kind of really important to her, to get those skills in. And it's going to come back later, because when she was able to save up enough, she ended up opening the Thai restaurant, Lux Thai Cuisine, here in Pleasanton in 1989. And she was now a restaurant owner, and all the skills that she took from her childhood would come to assist her in being successful. Her financial degree would be super helpful in her understanding how to save the most, how to earn the most. So the most return on investment, if you would, ROI. She was the only person I've ever met that we literally would walk out of supermarkets with more money than we walked in with. She would have all these coupons. She was definitely the coupon king. You know, the empress, if you would. She knew how to save. At one point, it actually even got her in trouble with the state board, I believe it is. We always called it the IRS, but it was the California State Board, if I remember correctly. And through all the paperwork, she never cheated. She had all her receipts for more than 12 years. All her paperwork, she provided everything to them. And although all our neighbors in the area, they all paid some sort of fine because the state board didn't have the power to go after large businesses. They came after our small one. And mom fought it. And with her financial background and her know-how, her bookkeeping, everything, she was able to win. We even got a letter of apology for bothering my mom. It was like a 9-month ordeal. But that's just the way mom was. And the great thing I would say about the restaurant is that it kind of drove mom to understand how the business world worked. And she really was strong at managing and being an entrepreneur. After 22, 23-ish years of running the business and winning multiple awards and having multiple issues that she'd have to overcome, she decided to retire from it. And after about 40 years of being away, 30 years of being away from Thailand, she decided to go live in Thailand for a short while to kind of go back to her roots, so to say. She left at 14 and she wouldn't go back until 2011. So, yeah, actually, that probably was about 40 years thinking about it now. She went and stayed with her family and learned about everyone that was around, what happened to everybody. 14 or 13 siblings is a lot to have to keep up with. Not to mention they all had children, and most of those children have had children. So, Mom really enjoyed her time in Thailand, but she owned this property in America. She was away from Thailand way longer than she was in Thailand now, her life. And so she moved back to the United States, to this house, where she would continue her retirement. But as most of Mom's friends would know, Mom is not good at retirement. If we had to put something that she wasn't good at, that was definitely it. Mom would eventually find a job at the Marriott where she would go in, and she did all sorts of jobs like housekeeping, room service, the concierge for their special room that they had. And it was a true pleasure for her to start learning again about business outside of the restaurant realm, but it being familiar enough to not being that alien to her. She was still in that service industry where she thrived. And it was during this time where she figured out that if she took her vacations, she could stick with the Marriott group and have her employee discount and go all over the place. And we did. Our trips to Spain, to France, to Germany, they were all somewhat like better because Mom was able to get her Marriott discount and we got really nice hotels. We began by exploring more of the United States, though. We went to New York, to Washington, D.C., to Florida multiple times, to Oregon, to Washington State. And it really just grew this love of travel for Mom, and that's why we then went international. Beyond Europe, Mom also went to Japan and Korea, to Taiwan, as well as back to Thailand multiple times. More for my benefit, I want to say, than her own. She definitely got something out of it. Going back and seeing family was something she always loved doing. But me being the explorer that I am, Mom was always happy to explore more of Thailand with me. And so, Mom would eventually lose her job at the Marriott, which didn't put a hamper on our traveling. No, it just gave Mom different goals. During COVID, most hotels got hit hard. Most travel industries got hit hard. And Mom unfortunately lost her position at the Marriott because of it. That didn't mean she was going to stop, though. During that time, she looked back within herself and reflected and thought, what could she do? And ironically, she was already in her 60s that she figured out she could go help the elderly and be kind of a caretaker again, which we all thought was ironic. Even her clients thought it was ironic because Mom was very close to their age. There comes that point where you're old when you're closer to the age of your boss's kids than you are. Your boss's age rather than your boss's kids' age. And Mom was definitely closer to her client's age. But it didn't matter because Mom was determined to help those that were in need and to make every penny that she could. Even though she was already in retirement, she decided she was going to still keep going. She continued doing that really until she got diagnosed with the cancer that would eventually take her life. Even after being diagnosed, Mom still wanted to work. It was only after the starting of the treatment that she realized that she wasn't going to have the energy to be able to do that. Mom lived a great life. She is truly a person that I could say successfully achieved the American dream. When she came to America directly from Malaysia, she only had 2 suitcases. And on February 7th, when she passed away, aside from all the material things that she had, she was survived by her 2 children, her elder sister, her younger sister, and her younger brother. She was truly successful in my eyes and in the eyes of my younger sister, particularly that she has this house, a multitude of cars, and everything she wanted. It didn't mean that she wasn't hungry for more, but she definitely succeeded in her goals. It's definitely sad to see her go, and we miss her. Every day. But I just wanted to get this kind of out before we go into the interview part where she'll talk about her own life. And from that, I will go ahead and transfer to the interview. And once the interview is done, there'll be a follow-up episode, I guess you could call it, to more of the story about Mom's disease and that timeline. So, thank you everybody for your support and your love. And I'll see you in the next video.
I was born in the hospital, the special hospital for the baby only, the birth baby, but Padung Khan Hospital, which means it's a prenatal hospital. That's what they have in Bangkok, and everybody born there. They don't take any other patient except when you're pregnant, and then you go there. So that's for the prenatal hospital. It's a special one, different than what we have here. So yeah, all of us born there. Is one place, not too far from the house. If you're gonna walk, probably about half an hour from the house to that hospital. Very famous in Thonburi. Yeah, until we know the owner, because we have so many kids who born there. Yeah, start from my brothers. Actually, not my brother, because the last brother, the youngest one of my first mom, born at, I think they probably born in the house, and that's why she died. She bleached to death for my last brother. But then when my dad married my mom, we start going to the hospital, the prenatal hospital. It started back then. And then we all of us, doing fine. The first mom have 10 kids. Okay, and my mom has 4 kids. So all counting, my mom have 3 girls and 1 boy. So the other mom from 14, so 10 of them is 7 girls and 6 boys, because become 7-7. Yeah. My oldest sister from my first mom, it's about 2 years older than my mom only. My dad want to marry somebody who really young. And his friends all against him that, you can't marry somebody younger than your first daughter. It's kind of against the culture, something like that. And then besides, he got 10 kids and no young girl want to marry him. So somebody have matchmaker. My mom also was a widow with 1 daughter out in Chonburi, outside of Bangkok. So, I mean, my dad's okay. I mean, my mom's still almost about 18 years younger than my dad back then. And then, she got kids, right? So she agreed to marry and come into the family. It's very difficult from grandma point. She have to battle with the 9 kids, because the eldest one of my dad was a boy, and he lived in China. Have to take care of my dad's mother because she still survived. And that's never come to Thailand, so we never meet him. We always send the money every month for him to be with the grandma. And this is it. So 7-7. So I'm number 12 of the 14. My younger one sister and 1 brother. My older one down in Los Angeles. So 4 of us. What else you want to know about this? As a child, I was the second one, and I loved to eat. From what my mom and my dad told me, my dad loved me the most because I guess I was the most chubbiest one and cute one. So they always carry me everywhere inside the night market and go to everywhere. My dad always take me. I don't know why. Maybe I was born the same year Rooster as he is. So I was his favorite. And all my brother loved me too, because I guess I love to eat since I was young. Always been chubby. And my childhood, I was quite naughty because I was fat. Even though I fight with my older sister, I always sit on her and she always screaming, "Get off the fat girl, get off the fat girl." Because I can sit on her and she would be like, a stick under the chubby woman, chubby girl. I play a lot with the market. Well, my house is in front of the market, and we have all the kids growing up. We always go out. I didn't like to study. I was the laziest one. I never liked to study. I always want to go and have some fun. I remember when I was in the kindergarten, I got scared about my teacher and I need to poop. I didn't even dare to say anything. I pooped in my pants. The teacher always sent me home. They said, "What a naughty person. Why didn't you go to the toilet?" And back then the toilet was, like a French style. You have to stooping, and it was so dirty. And then, actually I pooped 2-3 times when the first grade and the kindergarten. And my teacher didn't like me because, I'm lazy. I'm not like to study. And that's I've been held back kindergarten 1 year, first grade 1 year. So I was 2 years behind, even though me and my sister went the same year together into the school. So she graduated before me. And that's, I always got punished. Got, spanked on the hand by the teacher all the times. And that's all my memory is I don't like to study. I always wait until the last minute and I always cry. And I have the other brother, the half brother, help me doing the homework. I just play the tricks and they're all helping me, and I never passed the exam. I always fail. When I was young, no goal, no life, always run around in the market after school, never stay home. So that's a fun time. always fun time. All the kids, they all got beat, and my dad and my mom hardly beat me because I always love to eat. My chick is so big, it's like a chick. So my dad always called me to eat because I enjoy eating, and he liked that. So I love to bite the fish, and my dad loved the fish, and I can pick up all the bone, and that's how I guess I learned how from my dad. When you see me bite all the bones, sucking in all the juice, like the Chinese people, that's how I learned it. So yeah, everything is from my dad. I guess he took me everywhere, and then my other brothers too. When they go somewhere, they always take me. They don't take my sister, my brother, nobody. Always me. Yeah. So that's my childhood that I remember. I have a great time. And then later on, a year after my older sister born, my real sister born, the first oldest sister from the first mom got married and have a daughter. So my niece is about 2 years younger than me. I think she's almost 3 years younger than me and 1 year younger than my older sister. That's why my dad cannot marry anybody who's younger. You got it? So because my older sister need to marry to somebody, then also do the matchmaking. And then another thing is my youngest brother, when my mom pregnant her, she was pregnant during my older sister pregnant. And that's one thing everybody against my dad said, you should not have any more child because your kid going to be younger than your grandkid. And that is not, it doesn't look good in the society around him. So my mom have the tube tight. And then my youngest brother is younger than my niece, the oldest niece. So, and that's what it happened. So we really born almost the same age, me and all my niece and nephew. So we have time and play together. Whenever, then, with the old restaurant, we have the old wood. Back then, just like when you see something not similar to Japan, the old town in Kyoto, it's the same thing in the alley. The house is 2-story, really old. It's wooden house. And, we close it with the wood folding, and then we close the door like that. It's nothing like using the metal, nothing. It's just the wood folding. And every day my parents busy. My dad always busy doing all the prep work for the chicken and satay and all this stuff, barbecue chicken, cai yang. And I was born and raised that way. In the morning, 6 o'clock, the guy who come in, he would tie like one bundle of 10 chicken on the head. They bundle it, and he carried 2 hands or 20 chicken. And he knocked at the door, and then he carry it in. When my mom opened the door, they just go into the back, and then we just clean up the chickens and all this every day. So they deliver fresh. By tying all the neck of the chicken, I can still remember the big guy, the Chinese big guy, bring in the chicken, and then we sell it like that. And it was a rotisserie. We have a lot of charcoal. Put the chicken, the whole chicken, and we tie the leg and the head together, and we round it, turn around like rotisserie by standing. So we have about maybe 8 on each row. And then the charcoal is in the middle, and it just keep rolling, and it just, the way they marinated, the sauce is really nice. We use like a big jar. I don't know, you remember the giant jar, เป็นโอ่งมังกร in the Chinese way. We got all the sauce, all the chili, mix it all in there. We have all the helper worker come in and marinate it and then do it. It's really nice. It's the old times. So, and also we do the satay. My dad learned how, I don't know where he learned it. Before he married my mom, he have like a thing that he carry on his shoulder, the front and the back. The front with the fire, or like barbecue things, and the back is all the meat. And my older sister always walked behind him with the bucket of water. And they go all over and say, satay, satay. And they sell by skill like 1 penny each. Back then, a small one. So my dad always walked across the Sapan Put, because across from the other side of Chao Phraya River was Suan Kurap, school. And all those kids are really smart. They learn it and they become doctors. And when I went back there and see them, they say, oh, where are you from? Oh, Khao Wat Li, Suan Kurap. Oh, yeah, we eat all the time. Your dad used to come in and have a satay stick on us. And what they do is they eat all they want, and then my sister would go and count the stick. But some naughty would just pull the stick and hide it so they don't have to pay. And he just told us all the story that, yeah, my dad always there every day. And then he keep going somewhere else and all these things, and they make good money. That was, yeah. We still have that in Tum restaurant. We painted red color. And that's what the grandpa that carried, that's the first thing that he doing, you know. Over here it's different. Back in the old time, you walk and then you keep going, and you know, it was good. What else you need to know? That's that one I did not remember, but I wasn't born yet, and my mom didn't even marry yet to my dad. But they all told the story that how, you know, how my older sister helping and whatnot. So, but then in my time of growing up, I always hear the guy knock at the door. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I went back to sleep. And upstairs is a sleep place, and the downstairs is the restaurant. And then later on, my dad kept expanding, buying another part of the house, keep going. It's like a townhouse, but the townhouse of 2-story, all wood. I mean, I'll compare as a townhouse, but it's just one section of a house and another section of the house. That's how they call the townhouse. So my dad keep buying the next door, so we expand the family, always living together. So, you know, and then in my room, all 4 kids, we sleep together with my mom and my dad. You know, my dad always have to sleep on the balcony on the other of the restaurant. They have another balcony. When you walk up the stairs, they have a small balcony. My dad always put like mung, kang mung, you know, the one that block the mosquito. And he always sleep there because nighttime there always some thief coming in and steal some stuff. He always sleep outside so he can hear many things. And because, you know, our room is small, I mean, 4 kids, my mom, and, you know, for him, he just want to be on his own outside. So my dad always sleep outside. And the room sometimes, when I've grown up, I remember the weather is really cold in the winter, but it's kind of hot. But the mosquito is the main problem. So we always have the net to prevent mosquito. And we have the fan only to blow one fan the whole room. And then we also have a bed that my dad and my mom and my younger brother sleep on the bed. And me, my sister, 3 of us, 3 girls sleep on the floor with the mosquito nets. But then sometimes my mom always prepare the food. We all have to eat food in the morning before we go to school. From the house to go to school, it take me about 20 minutes walking, because the school is not too far from the market. So, you know, sometimes my mom went with us, or somebody, the servant inside went with us. I always tell them to carry my backpack. As you know, I'm lazy. So, and then sometimes my mom at nighttime, she always prepare like a sausages or the salty fish for us to eat with muoi in the morning. And then where she put it, so they would know be like a roach or the rat. It's always everywhere. You know, I got bite a couple times with what is that? แมลงป่องอะไรวะเรียกว่าอะไรวะ What was the insect that they crawl with the pinching? What is that? What do you call that? You know, with the horn like this, with the, what do you call it? It's not spider. You know, like a long one. it have the poisoned. What do you call that? They have like a two long hand, like a pinching, and then they can bite you. I gotta come up with the name. I can't remember. I got bite twice, because it was crawl all over. Even the insect with lots of legs. What do you call that one too? All the insect with lots of legs. The long one.
The centipede?
Centipedes too, and then there are some poison centipedes. The house is old, and behind the market is also like a swamp. Yeah, it was a swamp back then when I was young, but then they took it, and some people bought it and built the house, and they put the dirt on the swamp and fill as a landfill and built the building. So back then. But we got lots of insects all over. So my mom always make the food and put on top of the mosquito net. So I remember this one because I didn't know. At nighttime, even though we have the fan, but the nets block the wind. I always claw out and stay outside because I was the fat one, so I need the air more than anybody. And I did not know what happened to the nets on top, so I was smart Alex, just take out one corner of the net, the four corner that they're hanging, the mosquito net. So I said, I don't want the net over me. So I go and I pull the string, and the net become the triangle. So the plate that have the sausage fall down. At nighttime, you make the net, you tie four corner. So it's become like a tent, right? We sleep inside. But I took out one corner, so the net become triangle, and the dish on the net come down. And my dad was sleeping on the floor too. I did not know that he was there. So I probably saw him, but I did not know that the food was there. So when I pull it down, because I want to be close to my dad, so because the fan was on him, and I said, I want the fan too. And the gongqiang, the sausage fall down the whole place, scared my dad. He walked up, he turned on the light. I was sitting there. And then he looked at me, what the hell did you do? He's screaming, and he started hitting me. And then he took me out. I said, I was hot. I want the fan like you. So he took me out and put me on the balcony outside and let me sit there with the mosquito bite me. I was crying. I said, I did not know that it was the sausage on top of the net. That was one thing that I was crying because my dad hitting me, right? He just like, you get out from the room, I want to sleep. All this thing. I remember that one, that really, my dad, he got scared from the bowl falling. That was, when I think about it, I was really bad. But, back then I was upset, right? I want the fan. My dad always have the fan, and he won't share with anybody. And my sisters sleep fine. They don't need anything. They're all skinny. None of them love to eat. Only me love to eat. I told my mom, and she didn't even remember. She said, oh yeah, did I do that? I said, yeah. That, pulled me out to outside and leave me on the balcony. I was crying. I said, I was hot. Mom know that I hate the heat since I was young. You probably saw my pictures I showed you before. I was really chubby. But anyway, yeah, everybody called me อีอ้วน. Since I was born, I always been chubby like this. Never lose any weight. Never been skinny. So that's my childhood. And then same thing. Don't do the homework. Poop in the class. Yep, pretty bad, wasn't it? I hate study. Never like it. Never want to do anything. Always run out and play. I love to play. That's it. When I was young. So that is my life that I remember. In Bangkok, everywhere is a swamp. We are lowland area. But the way that it's flooding so bad is because we block all the canal and the river. We filled it up, and that's not a smart thing to do. And I think about it, that was a problem in Bangkok alone. So they have, when you take something away from the nature, you have to make it up for them, but they don't. They all want the money. They all, they build the building higher and higher and higher. And then the street, they build it higher and higher and higher. Then where the water go? There's no way. So as I remember, we got lots of canal, lots of, all the canal. We can't call the river because the river is big. It's Chao Phraya River, but all the small canal would run to them. And my house, in Bangkok, we have so many temples too. Like my house surrounding by 4 temples already. Everywhere is temple, if you know. So in the old house, we have like 4 temples around us. That's why within 15-minute walking, you see one temple, another half an hour, another temple. So, and that, when I was young, we don't go anywhere. My dad always worked. My mom always worked. Everybody works. So we all involved with working. And the kids always play around, that's all. When I grown up later on, because when we expand the restaurant to the second one, the Suan Kurap, which is another 15 minutes down the road, my dad went and bought another building and make into the restaurant. He thought of that after my brother got married. The number 3 brother, which is Chetum mom, got married. He got married first. Same thing again, people matchmaking, and then he married my sister-in-law, and then both of them moved to that new restaurant, and that's how they become the owner of that restaurant, and we still remain in the old restaurant, and that's how it's expanding. After we expand, we start traveling, but not until when I become like a teen. When you ask me, did I go out? I went out with the whole family groups. When the eldest brother married Jepao mom, she from Phet Buri, and we always travel to Phet Buri to her house. It was some fun times. We all go together, and they have again another canal behind her house, and she have the tire tube, and we always play the water. When the water rise, we just go out there. I wasn't afraid of drowning because everybody have a tube. We sit, hop on the tube and just floating. But also my sister-in-law have the youngest brother helping us take care of all the kids, playing water by the canal. And after that, we eat good food. So we just go the daytime. Like my brother take his wife, and Jepao, Pom Panya Pao. We went to Phet Buri and we just have fun. And we play together. It's just a day trip, something like that. It's a short trip. And then also when it's Chinese New Year, we close the restaurant. The first 5 years we did really well. So Chetum dad rent the bus, 2 buses, just all the restaurant, 3 of them. Another one is by the bridge, Lim Chao Phraya, the Patakan Suan Kurap Chao Phraya. So 3 restaurants, all the workers who want to travel. So we all went, Also the day trip, we leave 5 o'clock in the morning. Everybody pack the food, and and then they start having the drum, and then we just singing in the bus. When the bus going, back then it take almost 3-4 hours, But we leave like 5 o'clock in the morning, And then we go and some people fall asleep, and then they start singing and playing the music and all these things. So I have fun. That one, when I was growing up, I haven't left the country yet. When I'm saying, when I was 12, 13, 14, by the time 15, up to that age. But I have fun with them. My sister-in-law always asked me, you want to go, Auntie? I said, I always want to go places. I always tag along with my sister-in-law. And like Jetum dad, when I was growing up, you know, I was like 4 or 5 years old, right? 4 or 5 years old. He always take me to Jetum mom house, and they never seen any fat girl, and they love it. And then Jetum mom and her sister always measure my body and make me a really cute dress. I still remember. It's so cute. They sew so many outfits for me because I'm so cute. Every time they just like bring collect to the house, and my brother always take me there, and they just love me, see me eating. I'm easy to get along, and they just give me all kinds of dresses, which I didn't have it before. I always wear pants because I'm fat, right? I mean, they make it so nice. It look pretty. That's one thing about Jetum mom and Jepao mom house. I have fun. You know, when I'm about 10 years old, yeah, because we still have the pictures that we opened the new restaurant. I can't remember how old I was, but I know that when Tum was born and really like 4 or 5 years old, so I must be about 10. Tum's about 5 years younger than me, 5, 6 years. So Tum 5, I'm about 10, 4, 5 years. Yeah, Tum was young. And we go to the new building, and that's all that we play. It's 3 stories, so we run up and down, all of us. My older sister got married too, and she have 3 kids. But the first 2 kids was born already. So they all, when we have the ceremony, my dad always get everybody back together. And the second one who born, who right now live out in Macau, also have 4 kids. So the first 2 kids too, they all come in and we all play together. The first picture that I saved at the home, it's not all my niece and nephew was born yet because I was quite young. Yeah, it's about 9, 10 years old only. But we have fun. We didn't have to go anywhere. None of us want to go anywhere. We always stay home and playing together, chasing each other. We run up and down, and you know, we eat so many food. So it's a big happy family. When we born, never been a dull moment. Always something. That's why I never study. I hate to study. I love to have fun. We go out. I mean, we not go out. I mean, we don't stay in the room. We always in the restaurant, back, front, you know. Yeah, we always play. We create our own stuff. Even though when my niece and my nephew come, we just like pretending one section is a house, one section is a wall, one section, and then, you know, and then we do like a ขายของ, all of this thing. We're pretending. We make a lot of pretending. It's just like a normal childhood. It was good. Different than you guys here. Back then we have so many people, so we play, and everybody, you know, always playing here and there. And then later on, my dad also bought the house behind. Well, we have the market, and then behind the market we have another house that we bought, and then we expanded more. My dad keep buying more property because, you know, he's seeing that 13 kids in the family, we need more room to stay. So, and that's why, you know, the house in front, behind the market. Okay, market behind our house, which means the first house is in front of the market, the night market, and then the market, and then another house. So we just walk through the market to get to another house at night. And that one, my dad really built so many 3-story buildings and, you know, all kinds of things that he keep building it. We spent money stupidly, I think. It didn't plan well. He just like add on here, add on there. And we buying it. Also, we have all the servant, all the server, all the kitchen helper sleep there. My uncle also come in and sleep there too. He make the sukiyaki. And he make all kinds of salad. He make all kinds of food. It's really nice. He know how. So, and then later on, we buy more land behind the house again. And then my dad built the swimming pool. So we have swimming pool. So all my sister, all my brother, niece, and nephew, they know how to swim except me. because I'm the fattest one. So every time I jump in, the water go everywhere and I drown. Nobody there to help me because they're all skinny and jumping in and out. So I never liked the water. Only me that don't know how to swim of the whole family. Because it's a shame that I have swimming pool and everybody go in and learn how but I just didn't dare to. I just sit on the side and kicking the water and see all my nieces and nephews swimming. Because every time I go in there, I drown. I was so fat. I couldn't help myself coming up. And that's a problem when you're overweight. All my nieces and nephews, my brother, sister, they're always skinny. I don't know why. They don't like to eat. Every time when they come for food, I always sit at the table for food first. And that's why my dad always loved me to eat. Because I think in China, if your kid's skinny, it doesn't show you're wealthy. So, I'm always the wealthiest one that I can show I'm chubby. So, yep, that's it. I raised with that. We always fight. Fighting of the children fighting. We arguing, we siding together, we play together when we were young. And that's all I remember, all my nieces and nephews that I played together. Some are really always cry, some are, but we always have fun together. I learned to grow up faster. Because my younger brother, the youngest brother of the first mom start getting married. They have six boys, right, older. So the first one in China, then the second one Tum dad, and then the third one is Jepao dad. Start getting married after 2 years, 3 years, and then they all have babies. So now I have more younger niece and nephew. So I become older. And all my new sister-in-law always ask me, say, oh, auntie, they all call me auntie, even though I was young, only 12, 14, 15. I always help them when they have the baby. So I know how to take care of the baby. It's automatically, your own niece and nephew. I change their diaper and know how, and, I watch my sister-in-law do all the work. So, so we always take care of all the younger one because all my sister-in-law and brother always work. So we either have one servant to take care 3, 4 nieces and nephew, or, we all chip in. Yeah, we're all helping each other. So I always, help my niece and nephew when they're young, go to the bathroom, making them milk and all these things. I learned it really young. And I think it's more interesting. When you're always busy doing things, it's become you yourself that, you always do something. I always with people all the time, with the kids. That's why I know how to attend everybody. And then we also have a grandma come and live with us, and then, granny, it just my dad's relative, not a real relative, but just count as a relative. Come and live with us, and then she always speak Chinese to me, and then she showed me how to make the gu chai gui and all this stuff, and it's interesting. See, for me, I thought it was a playing again. You never been bored, right? I mean, you always have something to do. So by doing the flower, they make it so fun. All my servants sit down and helping, and they chit chat and they doing things. I thought activity is games again. It become a games that I like to join them. But I did not realize it's a work. I thought it's like a game going and playing with them, how to peel the prawn. I thought peeling the prawn is a game. Who can do faster and all these things. So I think it just become my lifestyle without knowing it. Rather than you get outside, ride a bike and all these things. We don't do that. My game of life is working, doing the satay, skewing, all this stuff, It's work, right? But because all my servants sitting down and talking and chit-chat and having fun, so I sit down with them and I chit-chat and ask them, hey, you have boyfriend, you have girlfriend, where you from, all this stuff. How are your parents? And I talk to all the servants. We have a lot of servants, more than 10. more than 10 at the house. They all live together, two rooms. I think it's about sometime, yeah, and the boy, about 10 people at the house all the time. So my house always people. And that's really a crowded place. But you see how I learned how to cook? It's just I thought it's fun as a game. So I learned it. And then now I treat cooking like a game thing. I enjoy it since I was brought up like that. But later on in life when I want to study, it's because I grown up. And the first 5 years from the kindergarten to the grade 4, it was bad. It was bad. I hardly passed. I'm doing bad. But toward the 5th year that I transferred to another school, I followed my older sister to another school, Sati Gulab, which means all the girl. Then when I go in that new school, the 5th grade, I start losing weight because I see everybody skinny, except me chubby. I did not like that. And then, they choose and pick like, oh, who killed this? They groups together. So for you to be able to be competitive with them, you want to be more recognized. So you have to make yourself study, and you have to make yourself skinny, more gorgeous, more better looking. That's one thing. And then my sister, she always there already. I always go to see her, and all her friends always said, hey, Pansy, which my sister name, boy, you got a chubby sister. And she always look at me like, nah, this is not my sister, because I was ugly. So I realized that, you're self-conscious that, people always said, hey, fatty, call me fatty, which I didn't like it. When you grown up, when you kid, they, you love to eat and all these things. But see, you eat all your life until you hit what? The 5th grade, which is what? 5th grade, probably 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. You become conscious about all this stuff. Then I changed my attitude. And then I study more. So I didn't go in and join with my servants and all this thing when I was growing up playing with them. Many years from the 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. All my servants always said, you poop in the pan today? You poop it. They're always teasing me because they know I came home with the boy pan. They don't have any. They must get somebody pan and put on me. So I send me back home because all my skirt, everything got poop on it. And my mom got like, why the hell are you doing that? Because I love to eat. So I poop a lot. So they're all joking with that. I mean, your fatty girl always poop in the pan. So, those are the things that I have in my memory that I can't do that no more. So I changed. Everything changed automatically. Nobody have to do anything to me. I mean, even study. I don't ask people to do my homework no more when I change school. I have to do on my own. And I got improved by when I see, a better looking person, I want to get close to them. I want to know them. This is, I think it's born with you, that when you learn how to cook, you go associate with them. So when I see people doing so good, like the 5th grade, I first start the first semester, I was doing bad. And I look at, who got the recognized A and B, and I got C and D, right? I said, oh boy, this is not good. So I get close to the people who get A and B and then become their friends. So because you know how, I mean, I was born and raised in the family, big one, right? So it's easy for me to get along with people. It's within me. Then I got all the friends who were really smart. And then they said, they have to study this, they're doing that, I'm following it. And then the 6th grade, I become number 2, number 3, single digit. And my sister's like, what the hell did you do? You changing your style? I said, yeah, I got to be better. So I learned more. And then on the 6th grade, I went to the YMCA or YWCA. My sister said, well, since you're doing much better, later you got to go to the U.S. I had plans since I was 6, 7 years old. 6, 7 grades. 6, 7 grade. My sister, the older one, the Pansy, always tell me, you have to go to U.S. I said, where the hell is U.S.? I didn't even know. And then in my school, one of the girlfriends, she said, "Oh yeah, my brother in back east Iowa somewhere. Oh, you know what? He always sent the money to the house." And her house is selling medicine, ร้านขายยา and Sawalak, I still remember her name. She always come in so cool, you know. "Oh, my brother sent me this from US, and you know I like it, this and that." And say, "Where the hell is US?" She said, "Far away, far away." I said, "What the heck, far away?" You know, when you're in 6th, 7th grade, right? You always appreciate. She always come back and show people, "Oh, look at my brother sent it from US." Back then, on the 6th grade, I always go to Daimaru in Bangkok because I become mixing with people now. When you become 14, you know, 13, 14, you like to get better, and then you travel on the bus. I always go there. Actually, my sister, the older one, took me there. And then I told my friend, "Let's go." And then we go bowling together and all this stuff. My dad always give me some money. How much a day? My mom always give me like 5 baht. You know, we're not doing bad. My family was the first one who have Mercedes-Benz in Thonburi because my dad have 2 restaurants, right? So we were doing really well. And we have the TV and all this stuff. So I never have any, never been feeling poor, never, when I grown up. My mom, my dad always give me money, support me real well. So yeah, this is what I growing up with confidence. Then I changed myself, like I have to study. And then my sister said, "We got to go to US." I didn't even know where the hell is US. She said, "Well, you have to speak English." I said, because the first 4 years we do Chinese. And I didn't do well because my brother helped me doing the homework, so I don't recognize it. You know, I was lazy. I keep begging my brother, helping me, the older brother. I said, "Please, I'm behind. I don't want to get spanked again." Every day I go to school, I got spanked in my hand. Like, I just like, oh. I was fat and I got always, you know, got spanked. So I don't know much of the Chinese, even though my dad wanted me to speak Chinese the first 4 years, the kindergarten to the grade 4. But then the grade 5, I don't have Chinese. But they learn, I have to stay nighttime from, the class start from 5 to 7 from Chinese. So my dad said, "If you go in that school, you have to learn Chinese." So I did. Back then, I told you that I exposed to people, I cannot be lazy no more. My attitude changed of learning. So my Chinese improved, my English improved, as well as Thai. So I learned 3 languages. I get better at the 5th grade, 6th grade, and 7th grade. But because my 6th and 7th, my sister pulled me toward English. So because we went to YMCA, and we also do that, like, you know, toward the 7th grade, I stopped doing the Chinese because I said, "I don't want Chinese no more because I'm going to go to US." And then before we go there, I also have another friend. The sister went to Penang. My friend named Suni Sawalak, brother went to US, right? He is from US. But Suni, the sister, went to Penang. And the other sister went to New Zealand. I thought, oh my God, I was brought up in a wealthy school. So most of the family, well, there are some poor kids too. I mean, I don't mix in with them. I always mix in with the people who go foreign country. I've been exposed to them, and then I went to their house. You know, I went to Suni's house because she's Siyak Ban Khak. It's not too far from my house. We just catch the bus, like 3, maybe 4 stop bus. I mean, pretty long stop. But anyway, I always went to her house and I saw, you know, she got stuff from New Zealand because her sister went there, saw the pictures, and I also saw the other sister of her. Ban Suni house, very wealthy. They sell the rice. Okay, they export the rice, which means they're wealthy. So they sent 3 kids to foreign country. 1 boy, 1 girl to Penang. Another girl went to New Zealand. So that one, I get close to Suni and then I become her friends. That's how I said, "Oh wow, I really like to go to Penang." And Suni said, "Oh, I'm going, you know, after the 7th grade, I'm going to be going." So I talked to my sister. I said, hey, should I go to Penang too? She said, well, that's your chance because Penang only learn Chinese, English, and your English will be improved a lot. So at the 7th grade, I contact close to Suni. I went to her house almost every day. And we talking to, when her brother and her sister came back from Penang, the school, I always ask them information. Oh, how do you make it? How you apply the visa? How, And then she said, well, first of all, you need the passport. And I told my dad, and my dad said, okay, if you want to travel, well, also my dad always traveled to Hong Kong to go into China to see his mom. So, and my mom went to China with him too. So then I said, well, I like to go China because I know how to do Chinese, speak Chinese. So he told my brother, okay, go big leg passport. So I got passport when I was in 7th grade. And all of this, my goal is I want to go to Penang. And it just happened that my Jetum dad always traveled to Malaysia. He had some business with my sponsor who would sponsor me to be in Penang. They were good friends, Tekiang Chek, Tekiang uncle Tekiang. So I told my dad, I told my mom first. I said, Mom, I really want to go to Penang because my sister said, why don't you go? She almost graduated, and the 8th grade. I got into the 8th grade, and I went to the 8th grade, right? And my sister, the Pansy, she said she wanted to be a doctor. So she took the exam, and she got into Rama Hospital, okay, on her own exam, because she studied hard. She got a big influence on me. She pushing me so hard. She said, like, don't play no more. Don't shopping. Don't do anything. Just concentrate. Don't work at the house. Don't do anything. So I said, okay. So I get more studying. So sometimes I got the top A in the class, and I show my dad. My dad said, oh, good for you. You really study hard. It's, from the first 5 years, kindergarten to 4th grade, that I was really bad. So it turned around, 180. I really turned around, and I'm doing really well. And then I told my dad I want to go to Penang, Malaysia, and I got the school and everything information. And then my dad said, okay, if you want to go, but your brother have to go with you. You're only 15. I don't want you to be by yourself. So I don't know why. I keep telling my dad, I want to go to study Chinese, then I can help you whenever you will go to China to see grandma. And he said, oh, that's a good idea. At least somebody know how to speak Chinese fluently. Because in the family, not many people know how. Because if any letter come from China, he have to go call his friends and come and translate it. So he said, okay. Then it's kind of nice that our family would have somebody who recognize Chinese. And I said, okay. I really studied hard when I went to Penang. But Jetum dad was the one who took me there. He was the one who recommended me to his friend, Tekiang, uncle Tekiang. And I was with him. And, he also have another one, Utai, another family, my friend named Utai. His dad also know Jetum dad. They're close friends. And they said, oh, my son, Utai, Atai, he's in the school there. Why don't you go see him? And, the Tekiang got helping us this and that. So I did. I went to Penang, and I know Utai. He's really a nerd guy. He doesn't speak because he's come from a rich family. He also have the 2 sisters went to Australia in Sydney. One of them was a doctor in Sydney and married the Sydney guy. But the other one, I think she came back to Bangkok. I haven't seen them yet, but anyway, that's the one that, my life changed after I went to Penang. After the 8th grade, I went there. So my life changed from growing up, remember all the, running around and all these things. When I changed school, it really changed my life a lot. It was fun. I have fun. All my life, I always have fun. I was born well. My family treat me well. So I always have confidence. It's just the laziness from studying, and that's it. But then, you got to study hard. But then sometimes I always fall asleep. Well, my brother did everything for me because he have a Tek Young uncle, Tek Young helping to be the sponsor. The uncle really helped a lot. Sent out the applications, everything. My brother filled it all up. I didn't have to do anything. Just only went to the Malaysian embassy and just go ask for the visa for the students. And that's it. So then he booked the flight. We flew from Bangkok down to Penang. The first flight I ever took. I went with my mom and my dad and my brother and my two brothers. My younger one that he got to stay with me. So 5 of us flew down to Penang. And then, Uncle Tek Young took us and toured us around the islands and go to the big hotel and eating and all this stuff. And another one is my brother, the older brother, also have another friend who down in Hat Yai, in Songkhla, Hat Yai. And he said, oh, I have a daughter who study in this school and I can help you to find a place for your sister and your brother to live there. So they organized everything. I didn't have to do anything. My brother connection everywhere. So we just got there and they took me to the place with my suitcase and everything else and we settled down. The first month was terrible because, from being around everybody. In Penang, they much laid back like in U.S. life, not much going on. And we didn't live downtown. We lived on the outside by the school. And lots of time the Thai students bought the bicycle and ride a bike from the rental room. They just like a townhome in Penang, like a townhome outside the downtown. It's a townhome. They have the gate all the way after your drive in. There's a long parking, the house, and then they have like a yard on the side and then the driveway, and then they have a gate. All the house look like, typical in Penang. So we rent the house, we rent the room. It was one big room. Actually, my brother's friend whose daughter was studying there, she said she can share the room with us. But what happened was she told my brother that she would take care of me and my younger brother in exchange of she not paying the rent or she paying so little, and me and my brother end up paying a lot more. I did not find out until I stay up until like the 3rd month, because I start asking the landlord that, oh, I'm come to pay the rent. How much? I call her the sister, the elder sister, how much she pay. And she said, oh, she pay like $20 a month, 20 ringgit. And me and my brother pay like 70 ringgit. And I said, how come? We share in the same room. And she said, well, the whole room was 90 ringgit a month, but I give them a break, so you pay more. So I went in and I asked her, how come we doing that? How come 3 of us not sharing the same price? And she said, no, because I'm elder and I come and take care. Your brother asked me to do the job. I said, what did you do to me? You didn't do anything. We pay for the laundry, we pay for everything. And then my brother sent me a month how much I can spend from Uncle Tek Young. And then I go get the money from him because my brother give him his money to the uncle, and I go draw it per month. And every weekend they come and pick me up, and I went to Uncle's house, and he have a factories. They call the pate, the salon, the pate. Pate mean it's a style of the Malaysian, all the dresses, all the salon, all kind of flowery and all these things. He have the factories out in Bayang Lempas, which is about an hour. 45-minute drive from the school. So almost every week he said, if you want to come to my factory, you can. almost once or twice a month I would go there. I have a lot of fun because at Uncle House, at Uncle Factories, it's the house and it's a showroom, and they make all kinds of shirts, sarong, backpack, everything. And all the tourists come from Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, coming all the time. It's a big bus tour that they drop the guests, all the tourists into his place, and they just sell a lot of stuff. And I have fun to watch them selling because most of the salespersons speak different languages. Like besides Mandarin, Cantonese, English, and it's kind of fun. So I love to go there. And same thing again, I meet lots of people and, we do some business. And my uncle, my sponsor, he was my guardian, right? He saw me work hard because I helped them pack. I had same thing again. And he likes it. He said, wow, Alec, he called me Alec, you should come and help me every week. I said, yeah, uncle, if you pick me up, I would come and help you. I like to be here. And his wife's really nice, and she always offer me things to eat, like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And after I help him, he always take me downtown to eat some good restaurant food and all whatnot. He just like, wow, because when you show your attitude, you're not doing nothing. Like Utai who lived there with him. And Utai always, not helping. He's hiding upstairs. He doesn't come down. He doesn't want to do the sale. I'm totally different than Utai. Another brother that recommend uncle to my brother. My brother did not know Uncle Tekiang uncle because we never come down to Penang. But it's because of the Utai dad. They know each other a long time ago. And he recommended my brother to Uncle Tekiang uncle. So that's why new friends. And, so he always said, his wife always told me, Atai never help us, and he eat there and live there and stay there for free. I always ask Tekiang Sim, with auntie, the Sim mean auntie. I said, how much Utai pay you? Atai pay nothing. I just like, wow, It's like, then later on, I think after the third year, he feel guilty that, he just lived there for free. The only thing is they have to have a driver to send him to the school. And then he have to wait at the school about 5 o'clock to wait for Tekiang uncle finish the downtown stuff and pick him up and come back home to the factories. They were building a big house on Scotland Road, which is close to the school, but it hasn't been done. But during those years that I was there, my uncle always take me to see the house, and she said, oh, later you can come and stay with us. And I always smile and said, no, it's okay, I can rent the room, because I don't want to feel obligated like Atai. And Atai also say the same thing, that he want to rent the room downtown, close to the school. Bayang Lampas is so far away. You have to drive at least half an hour at least. It depends on the traffic too, because you keep going. The factory have to be outside. It's the other side of the island. So it was fun. But the life in the school, actually the first year when I got there, I left Penang. I left Thailand the first time when I was 15. And then the second year or the third year, I met your dad. Your dad, grandpa, also a friend of Tekiang uncle. They related somehow between the mom or something like that. It's a distance with Tekiang uncle. And one time after I studied for the second year or the third year, Tekiang uncle said, oh, I have another new Thai guy coming in. But he's not living with us, but I want you to go, all me, my brother, and Atai, three of us to meet this guy. And I said, ooh, who? Thai didn't know. And Thai really quiet. He not open. He really introvert. He not open up, So we went and we went sit in the restaurant, which is the uncle favorite place, and we eat good food. And I met your dad the first time, and we just, but your dad very outgoing and cheer and pour all the wine, the beer, and everything. I'm just like, wow, this guy is. And Athai also look at his name Anurak Akeng, so his name they introduce him as Xiao Keng. So I know your dad, Xiao Keng, and then, we just talk a little bit, and then, we finished the food, and everybody went back to the room, the place, the house, and all of this. And then just went back to normal. He went to school. He have the same class with Athai. He got hold back 2 years, your dad. So he is in the same class with Athai. And then we start to realize that your dad always play. He always have friends. He bought the bike, and he spent so much money every month. And because same thing again, he went to Uncle Tekyang to draw the money every month, and he spent quite a bit. He bought the bicycle. He spent, he always go in Eden Garden. Eden Garden is a restaurant. It's a night restaurant. It's like from British. So your dad loved to eat all kinds of food, like every meal, like 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit. I said, what the hell? He go like once a week. And I said, no. I mean, the Hokkien mee or anything, the laksa, is only 1 ringgit. And dad always spent 20 ringgit. So, but I wasn't close to your dad the first year because I did not like his attitude. But then I keep moving. You remember that I paid $70 and the other sister pay 20 ringgit. So we argue. And I said, it's not fair. She said, well, this is the way it is. I said, well, then me and my brother going to move. Because if I spend $70, I want some places better than this. Because the house, it was empty house, and they rented out to all the students upstairs, downstairs. So they all kinds of boys coming in and out. And I said, I don't like it here. So I talked to Athai, and then and the classmate, all Thai people, and they said, oh, they have another place you can go rent it, blah blah blah, and then. Your dad also rent somewhere, but I lived in that house for a while without being friends to her, to sister, because I think she's still. I said, I pay less and you pay more. You don't have to take care of us, so we divide by 3. She wasn't happy. She said, why? And I said, well, you don't have to do anything, and then. Becoming like a problem, and I have to pay like $20, 20 ringgit to wash the clothes and all this stuff, and then the food. So I told my brother, I said, you know what, I'm going to do the washing all the clothes and hang up and, all of this. And she was like, you can't do that. I said, yes, I can. So I cut corner here and there because my brother gave me a whole bunch of money every month, how much I can spend. So because based on what she calculating, I save a lot of money. And then I talked to the teacher who is my math teacher on the 7th grade. I was in the 7th grade, Gao Chu San. I don't know how to compare to here. It was Chusan, which is the first year that I went in and I studied. So I went close. I become close to my. Each class have one teacher, like yours here, right? The 2nd, 3rd grade, and one teacher, right? I have the same one, Mrs. Ang, which means Mrs. Red, it translate in English. So I become close to her, and her house was not that far from me. So I keep walking to her, and I talk to her, and we become friends. I mean, actually, we become friends, and I learn my language faster. I speak more fluent in English. I speak more fluent in Mandarin because I contact all the teacher, and then my teacher have the sister, and it's all. And then she always invite me over, and sometimes I go to her house and I say, oh, I know how to cook this. She say, oh, so I cook her some food because, like I told you, in the house, I automatically, helping here, helping there. I mean, you tasting this and that, and I become expert. So, and then we have like a Thai society. The second year, I try to get away from Thai students because I want to practice more of the Chinese and the Mandarin and English, because I have the goal to come to US. My sister keeps saying, you save the money as much as you can, and then you try to, after you graduate from Form 5, which is the high school. I was in high school already in Penang. And she said, you can go. Fortunately, when I was in the Form 3, I become knowing Jua, and we go rent the house that, I rent the house with her because I heard somebody told me, I can't remember who told me that, that house have one room for rent. So I'm happy. So I went in and it was nice. I keep moving around though, but toward the end, after 2 years, I found this house with Jua, and it's perfect for me because I always go in and help Jua because Jua speaks Mandarin a lot, right? So my Mandarin, just like in Taiwan, I pick a lot from her. After class, I went to see her, and then she always cooked the food and say, oh, Siuli, come and eat. I said, no, but I always help her doing this, pick the vegetable. But her kids always study. But for me, I said, I'm here and I like to study Chinese. So that's how my Chinese really improved really fast. But most of the kids who went to Penang hardly can speak Chinese. But because of my different attitude, and then I also didn't choose the commercial. The Form 3, 4, 5, they split into science and commercial. Commercial, all the Thai students take it. And in one class, you might have like 10 to 15 Thai students. So you never have chance to speak anything except, hey, พูดภาษาไทย, talk Thai all the time. Even the teacher keep looking at all the Thai students. I mean, you come in here, most of my friends, don't speak well. They didn't speak well at all. So, but when I stay with Jua, that's the time that I was in Form 3, Form 4. I get into Form 4. And then Jua, I met her almost a year. I lost passport or something, and she offered me to help because I went to the Taiwan consulate in Songkhla. I didn't understand what happened. I forgot. Something happened and I need her husband help. He's a consulate. Well, when you stay in the, if you ambassador, you stay at the embassy in Bangkok, but this one is a small one, so they call consulate, and he counselor. So I went. He come to Penang every weekend to see his wife and his kid, and we all speak Chinese, and they took me out and we have fun, and So it's almost like they adopt me and I'm helping her like wash dishes. She always said, no. I always offer, no, I got to do this thing and this and that, and So, I mean, she's seeing that I'm not hang out with any Thai students. I don't. Most of the time, all the kids, like your dad, they always hang out. They go to the movie. I never watch movie. But then my younger brother hang out with your dad, and he becomes spending more money like your father. And we argue a lot. And I said, don't do that, And your dad always said, oh, it's okay, I treat him. And I said, no, you didn't have to, But, sometimes if I stay by myself, what I do is I always pack the whole box, the whole case of mama from Thailand. Every quarter, we go back home for the vacation 10 days because we catch the train. The train takes us 28 hours each trip, okay? From Butterworth all the way to Bangkok and Bangkok down to Butterworth. And you know, we every quarter when I go back home, I always pack the sauce, the chili, the noodle, everything. I told mom, I said, you know, I like Thai food. I don't want, actually, I wasn't honest to my family because I want to save the money, because they said, I can't remember how much, like 200 ringgit a month, but I spent less than 150. So every month I save 50 ringgit. And I start with Mrs. Ang in the beginning, right? Her sister worked at the saving and loan downtown. And then I said, oh, Mrs. Ang, I have money. I don't know where to put it. She said, why don't you put it in the bank? I said, I can't. I'm a Thai student. She said, don't worry. You have the visa. You have the right to open. And we give you a lot of interest. Oh my God. I thought, I can earn interest. So I went downtown and see her sister, Mrs. Ang's sister. And she said, she looked at all my documents. She said, oh, no problem. You can make interest, all these things. It was amazing. So I keep putting $50. Now I become a pig saving the money. My brother always complained, I want more money. I said, no. I save it all into the bank. By the time I finished Penang, I have almost like 5,000 ringgit. I saved so much. Every month I save. I never, you know, I did not want to go anywhere. Your brother, your uncle, you know, I limit him. I said, you know, you got to study. So we fought a lot, me and my brother, because he always go, but I always save the money. My purpose is to come to U.S. So, and then toward the Form 4, Joy, Thailand get rid of Taiwan embassy because they start with mainland China. And Joy said, you know, the whole family have to move back to Taipei. But after Taipei, she said all her kids got to go study in U.S. I thought, wow, I did not know that I would have a chance. And she told me the first thing is you have to apply to school, and they offer you I-20, and you get the I-20, you go to the embassy in Bangkok, and you go apply it with financial statement and all these things. I thought, wow, it's so nice. And she said, well, you need a sponsor, but if you do, I will be your sponsor to U.S. if you want to come. I said, yeah. So we keep in touch by mail, okay? But before she left, she said, okay, the school that in Pleasant Hill, she said she will live in Concord. And she said, I have one school, which is Dabo Valley College. I know this school. If you go apply. So I wrote the letter to the school. She gave me address. She know everything. I don't know how. But anyway, I got it all. And meanwhile, on the Form 4, I keep taking the special English class, spent different for the TOEFL exam, because I know I need to take TOEFL exam. And I did not pass the first one, but when I took the second time, I passed, which is they require more than 500 points. The first time I took it's like 400 points. So I study harder and harder. So all my life in Penang, it just like study and save the money. And your dad, we start having relationship because he's seeing me that, you know, what the hell, this woman, this young girl, go nowhere, always eat mama at home and study only. And he always come in, you know, and hang out. Sometimes he didn't have friends. He said, hey, Lek, you want to go movie with me? I said, no. You know, I said, why? Wasting money. He always offer and, you know, to go out and pay for me and all these things. I said, no, my dad have money. I didn't need your money. So, and then he became the president of Thai students, you know. And then he know that I know how to cook because he know that my come from Patakan Suan Gurab, Koh Wat Li. He said, wow, you must know. And then Mrs. Ang always tell everybody, oh, Lek, Siu Li really is the best cook. She know how to make many dishes. So when they have something, they always come and ask my help. I always turn your dad down because I said, no, I don't have time to go prepare, go to the market, go to buy this and that. And then, you know, to join with his group. And he have so many girlfriends back in the high school. And I wasn't that close to your dad. I did not. But all of his girlfriends see your dad really a spender. He just go hang out, go to the seaside, you know, have some friend play the guitar and drink some beer and chill out on the ocean side. He told me all this thing. I look at him like, you're wasteful, you know. So, and I told him, you know, you're not going to pass your class. And I said, I have my goal. I want to go to U.S. Another person, which is Thai, Utai, he said he got to go to Australia. He have to take exam the TOEFL. So Thai and me, we both have the same goal. It's just unfortunate that, you know, I wasn't close to Thai. I would be much better because he's the type that is a nerd type and always study. But your dad have no friends, always come to me. Like, you know, I mean, when he doesn't have friends, he always come to me and then he always hang out with this person, that person. Your dad always hang out. But see, I did not know much things about your father. I didn't. Because all my life back in Penang, I studied to get the TOEFL test. And then I have to study the class. And, you know, I was in the science, so I didn't have much friends. So I didn't know much about your dad at all. That's one bad thing when you're too much extreme in one thing. But he's saying, well, you know how to make this, make that. Can you help us? Or we're going to make a special meal for the teacher and all these things. Your dad always have obligated to do things for the school, the party for the school. So he didn't have chance to study at all. And, you know, but he said when toward his Form 5, okay, he know he got to graduate and go nowhere. He didn't tell me that his girlfriend waiting in Bangkok. I did not know because, you know, and then he said, well, all my girlfriend in Penang, I cut them off now. I just want to go study with you. And on the Form 5, because Joey moved already to US and I was by myself, I kept lonely. So your dad always come and hang out and talking. And I just like, I enjoy it, which wasn't right. When I look back, it wasn't right that I should not enjoy with him. But anyway, that's how relationships start. And he just like, wow, I told him that, you know, I cannot spend the money. I have to save because when I go to US, I need, you know. And none of his friends have the goal like me. None of his friends. They all got to go back home and get married and have kids. Before my dad died, it's a lot of change in the family. And then another thing is because dad got cancer, he was in and out hospital for 2 years. We waste a lot of money to try to help him, you know. So that's kind of like financial, we're getting into trouble. Another thing is our food has been the same for 20, 30 years, never changed. And more of the new restaurant popping up. So we didn't change it according to the trend in Bangkok. And that's becoming more problems. Another thing is my mom, she was more into the superstitious. So she always steal the money and give out to another lady that, oh, I'm going to make your husband last, give me, you know, 5,000 baht, you know, 2,000 baht and all these things. Mom sold all my gold. We all have gold, 4 kids. Mom sold it all and gave it to that woman. Okay, mom believed it so hard that she wanted my father to last because she know that if my dad died, all the kids, 9 kids from the previous wife, you know, she gonna be in trouble. That's all. Just put it that way, right? And everything scattered. I mean, also Jetum dad and mom also split when I was in Malaysia. They divorced. I didn't even know all this thing happened. So Jetum told me later on that the father have another woman, and the woman very wealthy. The parents have the gold shop, Lan Kai Tong, and they really like my brother. They want my brother to be the husband. So they don't care if the daughter, I never seen her, but they have skew eye, like, you know, something like that. But my brother, I don't know. I didn't hear much of the detail. I just heard that, you know, she got the skew eye. That's what the Jetum mom talking. But anyway, so things changed. And my brother told me that, you know what, if you can graduate, you go ahead. But this is it. You're going to be your last year. We don't have money spend money to cure our father. And I said, okay. So I know I have some money saving already in the bank in Penang. So and I also, meanwhile, I did not tell anybody that I already applied to school in U.S. But my younger brother, I told him, you know what, it's not going to be good. And also my older sister, she also almost graduated as a nurse. Actually, she graduated as a nurse, and she have to pay back 3 years to the government, or 4 years, I can't remember. So she said she have the money saved on the side that she can help me out a little bit. But after I get here in U.S., I have to work. But she told me already. Somehow it's fortunate things went well on my side, which is I can go apply the visa. I got accepted from DVC, and the letter, everything went to Malaysia. Everything I connecting is from Penang. So actually, I wasn't graduate the Form 5. I short only 2 months. Okay, the school opened in August. So I have to be in school in August, but the school in Penang closed in October. So I have 2 months short for the final. So I went in and talked to Mr. Ma, who also was my master. And I said, I cannot take the final because, you know, all the document from the high school is good enough. They all accept me already to go into the first year in junior college. And Mr. Ma said, don't worry about your exam then, because they're accepting you is equivalent. You almost graduate from us, but you do not get certificate. I mean, you know, you can go, you just leave. So I did. I lived at Form 4.5. It wasn't even complete. So your dad also in Thailand already. My Form 5, your dad already graduated, right? So he was in Thailand and also study English, try to take the TOEFL. Your dad take like, you know, many times and he never passed. But because his family doing well, he got all the money. So I left school and I told my brother, I said, you got to take care of yourself 2 more months and then you graduate and go to the, you know, it's all up to you. I don't know what you're going to be doing, but my life is I got to be in U.S. And I left my brother there. I told Mom, I said, you know, I cannot take care of, you know, he's old now. After 3-4 years, he have to know how to take care of himself. But so I went to Thailand, went back home, and I took my money. I know I have enough for the airplane. I told my sister said, well, since I came back home and I told everybody, I said, I already graduated from Malaysia and I'm going to go to college in U.S. And all my brother keep saying, no, you can't go. None of them support me, none of them. And I thought, well, with or without blessing from them, I'm going. I packed all my suitcase, my sister helping me, and then your dad also came and helped me. You know, he gave me the money. And I said, well, you know, I thank your dad, but I said, you know, after this, I don't know, the relationship have to end there because in U.S. it's going to be very difficult for me to contact anybody. And Jetum mom came toward sent me at the airport, but toward the end, she gave me like $200, okay? And also, Jepao mom give me some money, and the seesaw, the fourth sister-in-law also give me like $50, and then you know everybody give me a little bit money, okay? Even Hienung, the last one on the last elder brother, the last one. He also gave me the address for somebody who lived out in LA. He didn't even know. He said, where are you going? This is address for the guy LA. If you need any help, you can call him. It's just somebody I know. So I said, okay. I thank everybody. I booked the flight myself and I left Thailand. That's it. It's on I think it was July 7, 1977. I left Thailand. or August 7th, something like that, 1977. So I came here. And then Joy picked me up and I stayed with her the first month, right, in September. So I look at their apartment. They live on Clayton Road. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, but they have 3 kids and father and mother. 5 people live out 2 rooms. And I thought, wow, this is really crowded. So Joy told me, well, this is temporary. Later on, you have to move out, you know. And I do understand. And she said, why didn't you go rent apartments and then study and, you know. But because, again, I did not feel secure. And I have some money saving, but I did not dare to tell her that none of my brother want to support me, because the story changed after my dad died, right? So I didn't dare to tell her anything. And I looked for live-in job to take care like a nanny and all this thing, and I go to school because the visa back then was really the D/S, which means duration of study. As long as I go to school, my visa okay. So what I did was I took 12 units. I hang out in the school mall, in the international club. So I talk to people, and they have a career center out in Pleasant Hill in DVC, and they post all the jobs. So I always write it down, and you know, I go interview, and you know, I go look at the places. I walk everywhere. My shoes really worn out so fast. You know, your dad gave me a couple of shoes because he's shoes factory, right? He gave me a couple of shoes, but I really got worn out because I walk everywhere. I became really skinny because I walk a lot, and I try to save all the money. I live with Joy. I eat only cereal and all these things, and she keep looking at me. How come, you know, I didn't dare to eat much of their food. I keep offered Joy some money, and she said, no, I want you to save the money and you go rent the place. It's just a small food, you know. She always make a big meal for 5 people, but the husband become agitated because he retired early, you know. He didn't have anything to do, and when he come to US, he didn't have any job. He become more senile and play only the 3-string things. He did that every evening when we study, and he didn't like me to be there. He want just only family, he said. And then his oldest Marshall, have to move out and stay with Joy's sister. Joy, my sponsor, the sister live out in Santa Rosa. So now they have 2 kids, and Joy and Papa, the Uncle Ju and Auntie, and then Pedro and Julie. So live in apartment, right? And Marshall live out in Santa Rosa, because they call Sunny, which is the youngest one of the Joy, the younger sister. So they said, you know, they help Marshall to live there and go high school over there. Just take out the burden from Joy, okay? And I realized that. So I think that after the second month, because almost every weekend she said, have you find a place? Have you find a place? I know that, you know, they want me to move out fast. I keep offer them the money because I feel obligated, but they never take my money. They never took it. And I found the first one. So I went, I said, oh, I can move out now. And I went out and I become a nanny. She said, oh, you live in an apartment? I said, no, I don't like apartment because I don't have anything, right? I mean, I don't have pot, pan or anything. How can I cook? I said, well, live as a nanny. They require just me to be home in the evening to take care of the baby, the children. Glenn and Glenn, they only like 4 or 5 years old, okay? That's the first family I went because both of them work at the hospital at night, okay? So they have a room for me, the room with stuff and all these things, and I lived there. But she was nice to me, so I stayed there for like 3 months. But then she married to Bob, the boyfriend, and she said, oh, like, I don't have to work no more. I don't need you. After 3 months, I have to move again, and I start looking. Meanwhile, I contact Joy once a while, okay? But I didn't tell her the whole truth, what happened.
I struggle. Then I found another lady, she's become handicapped, and I have to be there. I said, well, I take any job because Miriam did give me, the first family did not give me much time. She said, oh, I marry in 2 weeks, can you move out? I'm just like, wow. And she said, well, I said, well, can I stay a little bit longer? She said, no, 2 weeks is enough limit time that I can give it to you. So I moved out, and I found this lady again, this another family from the Career Center for the live-in, right? From $40 a week from getting nothing. And she gave me the room and board. But she want me to stay all weekend, all weeknight, every day. And she have 2 daughters. I mean, she's handicapped in the wheelchair. And 2 daughters have to go to work. And me have to be home. And I don't have much thing to eat. Also, I have to be home all the time. Take care of her mom, for her to pee and all these things. And I thought, what? I mean, she handicapped, so I have to put her to the bathroom and, But, I mean, it wasn't fair. That 2 girls, she took advantage of me because she's seeing that I'm Asian. Those 2 white girls, they live out in Monument.
So I thought to myself, I said, hell, I can't do this. So I start looking again. I moved like 3-4 times, but then Joey keeps saying, where are you now? I said, oh, I out in Monument. She said, what happened? From Marianne to this one. And then the next one was, I can't remember. The next one, from being in the DVC, I met another Thai lady named Dang. She have the Volkswagen, and I always ask her favor because I didn't have a car. While I'm the first year in college, I make a lot of contact, and also, it happened to be in November, I got in a car crash accident from Dang Volkswagen on the Detroit. So that road really have a history on me, on Detroit. So on one evening, Dang was gonna go to Brad, her fiance, house, and she asked me if I want. After that family, I moved into another family. No, it's within short time. I live with her like maybe 1 month. I move again. I keep moving. For the first 6 months I got in US, I moved non-stop because I could not afford apartment, so I need to live in like a nanny. This one, it was it was, I know Dang, right? Dang told me that, her landlord need a babysitter and she got to get married and I can take over her job. She take care of the boy, okay? And she took me to introduce me to her landlord, okay? And meanwhile, while we're going there, it got in a car accident, okay? And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. My whole, the guy, big car, hit the Volkswagen and he didn't even care and all this stuff. Anyway, I went to the hospital and I can't remember how much I spent the money. I cannot remember. I told them I don't have the money. But anyway, they took care of me. Because of the student, we bought the insurance. But I can't remember how much I spent. And after the hospital, I stayed in hospital one night. And then the next night, Dang took me to her place. Okay, because she also got into the sling. And she took care of me the first week and she asked me, where you want to live? And I said, I have no place to go. My stuff's still with the 2 girls. And I said, I need to move out. And she said, I have, but you're not well, so you cannot stay here and take care of the boy. Because her landlord said, no, I don't want this. She's sick, right? So what happened was, she said, how about this? She have another Thai friend, Pisupon, and Pisupon, we go ask her for help. So I went to her house, Pisupon house. She have 3 kids. They're all young and screaming and And I said, oh, I try to get better fast, okay? But anyway, the first week I with Dang. And then the second week, I went to Pisuthon house. The house have nothing. She leave me one sleeping bag in one empty room. Okay, she said, well, Dick, her husband, need to go move to Florida because they found a better job. And they're gonna move, and the house, they start shipping the stuff. She said, I can live there temporarily, maybe no more than a month, because they're on the way moving to Florida. And at least I have some place to, you know, to sleep, not a homeless. Joey become angry with me. She said, why don't you rent something? But meanwhile, I try to save as much as money as I can, because the first semester that I spent $700, you know, that's most of my saving that I collected and bring it here. I have enough for the first quarter. And I know myself, I have to go to work to make more money so I can stay in school. And I said, you know, then I told Joey the truth that, you know, after my dad died, everything fall apart. Nobody want me to come to US. And she got upset. She said, why didn't you tell me? I said, I'm so sorry. I need to, you know, I want to come to US, and the family falling apart. There is no way that I want to be in Thailand. And she understood, but she just like, well, you don't have money. I said, it's okay. I can study and I can make some money. And I you know. Meanwhile, your dad always contact me, and he said, oh, he tried to come to US. The first year, he said he applied to the embassy 3-4 times. They will not let him come. He keeps saying, how come you apply one time, you got it? I applied like 3 times. Nobody want me to come to US. I said, well, if you come. So I same thing. I give him DVC college. He didn't pass the TOEFL. He said he took it so many times. He doesn't want to take it no more. He said, can you give me the school that don't want TOEFL? I said, no, there's no school that don't want TOEFL. They want TOEFL. So he got the school back in North Carolina, Wingate. That's what Dad always said. He went there because they don't need anything. So he got the school over there. He said, it's okay. After I got there, I can transfer to California. And, you know, the reason he can come to U.S. is finally the consulate at the embassy said, you know what? Why don't you show all your finance to your Thai government, GoPo, which means it's another Thai department that they take care of all the foreign students who come to U.S. financial, so nobody be a Robin Hood, okay? So that got approved from that point, and he went to Wingate. And that was the second year that when I was here, second year Dad went to Wingate. So after the whole thing that shebang that happening, I got another good job. After how many moves? 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th move, I found Mrs. Ball on the Career Center. She lives out in Martinez, and she needs somebody like a night care. Okay, the daytime it's okay because she can move around, but she needs somebody to fix her dinner. She have the meal on wheel every day. So they come in and give her the meal. What I do is I give her a shower, and I throw her commode, you know, she pee next to her bed, and I dumped it and I clean it up and give her a shower. That's all I do. But she paid me good, $50 a week. So I thought, wow, $50 a week, $200 a month. That's good money. And I still can go to school. That I settled down. And her son, Ed Ball, Mrs. Ball, you know. Anyway, he always give me a ride. He kept a nice big fat bear with all kinds of beard. And he always said, you Asian woman. I was tiny back then, skinny. Anyway, I go to Safeway, and he said, okay, I will pick you up. After half an hour, you put in the cart and I pay the money. So I have all the list what his mom want to eat, and I have my list what I want to eat. He pay everything. The grocery get bigger and bigger because I pack it for lunch, for school, so I don't have to spend any dime. All those money is the net again. You see what I mean? So I make more money that way, and I take care. I never argue with Mrs. Ball. If I gotta come back late, I told her. So she always told me by 4 o'clock evening, I have to be home. Okay, in the morning, I just fix her breakfast and leave it on the table. She walked out with the walker and she ate, and she leave all the dishes there. In the evening, I come back home and clean it up. So I always take the class between 9:30 until finish by 3 o'clock. So I have 6 hours, right? I wake up early and I fix all the things, be in school 6 hours. But because I take only 12 units, so it's only 3 to 4 classes. But I leave the house every day. So then I have more free time. Your dad's still back in North Carolina for a couple years. So, but we still, contact with the letter. But anyway, what I do was I study and then I go apply the job, because in the campus we have so many jobs. Okay. Oh, backtrack on the first year. After I settled down with Mrs. Ball, I make more money now. And I asked people, how do the people get the job? They said, oh, you need Social Security. So 1978, I met another Japanese woman who married a white guy, and she always sit back and smoking, and we become friends. We took one class together and I talked in general. And I said, I don't know where is Social Security department. I really need badly the Social Security. And she said, oh, if you give me the gas money, I can help you there. So I think I give her maybe, I don't know, a couple dollars, something like that for her gas money. So she took me there. It's not too far from school. The Social Security Department of Taylor Boulevard. I mean, back then I didn't even know where the hell it is, right? So she took me there. And she said, well, you need your passport, you need all your visa, everything. So I brought it. And I went to Social Security and I applied. Luckily, the lady said, okay, but you cannot work, okay? I said, no, she asked what you need it for. I said, oh, I need to open the bank account and I need social number. I have one number, 9999999. I said, there's no way. And she said, oh, because I bring my school document. And she said, oh, no wonder you need a Social Security. And I said, yeah. And I got it. They mailed it to Mrs. Ball's house. I was so happy, jumped with joy. So I used that and applied all the jobs. So, and then later on, I bought the Volkswagen, the red color. I don't know how to drive. I did not know how. But, again, I worked and I found so many friends there. And, the guy said, well, I want to sell my Volkswagen for $700. And I didn't know, he know that I'm stupid. So I bought it, the oil leak all the times and whatnot. But I told him, I will buy your car at your price if you teach me how to drive and go get the driver license. That's the bargain with me, right? I didn't bargain the price. I bargained is you need to help me get the license. And he did. He said, oh, no problem. I teach you how to drive. I teach you everything in your car. So it was easy. The car was so nice and I went and take the test. I passed. The first time I failed because I, didn't do turning the head like that. So I live out in Martinez and I make another friends and, So then it's become easier. Live with the car, I go everywhere. I leave the house and, go early. And then I work in the lab, the chemistry lab. Mr. Bird came to my wedding because I worked there and he always give me the hours. So I make so much money. But I didn't talk much to Jua because I don't want her to know much. Once in a while she call and once in a while I contact her. But my life always been working and make money. But from the accident, it settled down. I drove to the lawyers. We got the lawyer because you remember that I was going to go to the landlord, dang landlord. Her boyfriend was a lawyer. And he said, I will represent you. And I make $5,000. And I thought, holy cow, back in 1977, $5,000. So I thought, oh. So I start, earning more. And I contact all the saving and loan, pay me like 5-6%. I go from here to there. I sign up CD. I learn everything back then on my own. So that is how my life started. But
on my own. And then 78, Dad was there. 79, Dad came here to California after 1 year. He said, I can't take it no more. It's nobody here. The Wingate College is so small. And I told Dad, well, why didn't you go get Social Security? I told Dad everything what to do. And he did it all. He same thing again. He helped people, and people have a truck, and Dad know how to drive already. So he keep riding the motorcycle to come to Thailand in Bangkok to see me. But anyway, back then it was okay. So I lived with Mrs. Ball for almost 2 years. But then Dad said, I got to move out to California. So I got him the school in Berkeley. I can't remember the name. They don't need TOEFL, anything again. Dad still doesn't study. But anyway, they don't need TOEFL. I tried to get him the DVC. Cannot make it. Same thing after Wingate, 1 year. I don't know why. Anyway, so he came and he went to Berkeley. So every day he catch the bus, go to Berkeley. But before that, he told me to quit Mrs. Ball. After with Mrs. Ball for a year and a half, I saved a lot of money already. I got lots of money. And I got the car, I got everything. So Dad ready to move out here, and I helping him moving out here. I pick him up at the airport and whatnot. So he said, quit Mrs. Ball because you don't have time. Every evening we cannot go out, we cannot have fun. We cannot, on the weekend I have to be home. For me, for a year and a half, it's okay for me. And Mrs. Ball got upset. Why are you going to leave me? Because for her to get somebody, it's very expensive. What happened was after he told me to quit Mrs. Ball, so I found the apartment. Actually, he moved out here, and it take about only short time. I told Mrs. Ball I move out, and then I also look in the newspaper. I found the apartment. We paid the first month $180 for 1 bedroom on Pine Street in Concord. So I'm the one who found that apartment, and we lived there. So it was starting really low, less than $180 a month. Back then, I think it's okay. I have money. And we both have Social Security, so we both worked. And Dad also got the restaurant close by. Since we have car, we take turn, drop people off, and I work somewhere and he works somewhere. I always work as a babysitter that I make more money, and then I become house cleaner. I make even more money back then, It end up used to pay. I starting from DVC, I start like $2 an hour back then. And then I start 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and keep going up. And finally, I save a lot of money for me to be able to pay the house on Detroit Avenue. But the thing is, we live out on the Pine Street for many years, until the rent went up to like $250, something like that. It keep going up. So, but Dad working in the restaurant, and he always end up with like a steak or the meat, chicken. Dad eats so much because the restaurant, I can't remember where he worked, but because he drive there and come back and then pick me up, and all this thing, life is hectic. Just work, and then go to school. So we have to go to Berkeley. I have to go to DVC. We always take turn pick people up and all this stuff. So it was fun. It was nice. When we have free time, we always go. We went to Monterey. We went to Carmel in that Volkswagen. But later on, it have given us so much problems. So I sold it, and I bought the Datsun 310. From the showroom, and that even better. So we just go out and camping in the car, and it's a hatchback, so we didn't have to rent a hotel, something like that. And me and Dad have a good time. The first 3 years of his moving out this way, but then
So we move out, and I still go to DVC, and Dad still go to Berkeley. And then we live off the Pine Street until I transfer myself into Hayward. That's it. So we live in that apartment 5 years at least. I can't remember exactly how many years. Until I pregnant you at 84. How long? From 79 to 84. 4 or 5 years, no? Yeah? Yeah, because you were born off the Pine Street. Because, I pregnant you at Pine Street too. So I moved out from Martinez since Dad moved out here in 1979. That about 3 years I've been in the U.S. And we rent the apartment off Pine Street in Concord. But and then in the 79-80, I applied the Cal State Hayward transfer, and there I met Ursula Gallego from DVC, and she was the one who helping me to transfer to the State University in Hayward, because she was a nurse. She have a big influence on me, and she said I can go with her if I got to her house in Walnut Creek and we carpool together. So Dad dropped me off in her house 3 days a week that we go to Cal State Hayward. And I think it started from the 80, I start realize that I have the lump in my breast. So she was student for the nursing. Oh, Ursula also deaf. She uses sign language. She speaks very slowly, but I can understand her and she also leading the all people lips. And she said, why don't I apply the Kaiser, rather than go get the student health thing from Hayward, because I found a lump, but the lump was like a pea size. I did not know what to do. And she said, well, we can do one thing is go see the MD and explain to him and try to suck the fluid out. Because when she said, how did it feel? I said, it's hard like a rock. So she said, okay, make appointment. So I went to see the doctor, and they put the needle in and tried to pull the fluid out. And the doctor could not. And he did not like it. And I said, I do not have insurance, but it's our process of buying Kaiser or from the county. But everybody, the doctors and Ursula said, get from Kaiser. So I enrolled myself really quick, and they accept me the following month. I was enrolled. After I got enrolled, I can't remember, it's between the early 80s. And I went in and checked with the MD and everything, and they said, oh, you have, I said, I found the lump myself. I don't know what it is. And they said, don't worry. So they put me to the X-ray, and then they said, well, it seemed like a lump, that the doctor wasn't happy, and they sent me to a mammography. And then they decided, well, how about this? We take it out. It looked like it's a mass. It's not the cyst. If a cyst, then they let it go. But since it was a mass, and then they scheduled me. Back then, I think, it's only the school, and I didn't look for more jobs, so I pay attention to my health. And Ursula always helping me, taking me to the doctors and whatnot, while Dad was working, and then go to the Berkeley school. Armstrong College, that's what his college went. Anyway, Ursula helped me a lot. And then after the lumpectomy, it took them more than a month to get back to me, because I was only 21 into 22 years old Asian girl, and they didn't believe that it was a cancer. So I keep calling them and say, what is the result? Benign or tumor? Finally, they said, we need you to come to the office. So I went there. Of course, I have Ursula again, because she's a nursing student. And we talked about it, and they said, well, I had cancer, and they want to do the mastectomy. And I of course, I was shocked.
And I left the place. I said, I have to think about it, and I need more the consultation. I need more second opinion. And those take a while, all of these things. But they said, luckily, the cancer was the slowest growth, and it won't grow too fast. So I have time to decide. So I called for the meeting with the doctors, and I went to talk to them. And they said, well, I do not want that. I tried to find another option, which was the radiation. And Kaiser also offered that. And I talked to Ursula again, and she said, why don't we try the radiation? It's the lowest dosage rather than do the chemo. The doctor even said it's so small and it didn't spread anywhere. So they said, we can try the radiation first. But after that, if it doesn't work, then they're going to do the chemo. Because I did not have anything on the lymph nodes. And they said my whole body was just fine. It's just only that one lump. It turned my life around because I didn't have hope. When you're thinking that you might be dying. But then Ursula also saying that lots of people survive. That's why her name kept coming up. And she helped me a lot. So after that, we scheduled. I did not want to go even the chemo. I think I keep telling the doctors that you guys, it was wrong. And they said, no, we're not wrong. It's because it's confirmed by 2 labs down in Oakland and up in Seattle. They have another one. They said that's why they're waiting more than 3-4 weeks to give me the result. And all those times you anxious, you just like, what the hell going on? What happened to my body? Anyway, the radiation started at Mount Diablo Hospital in Concord. It wasn't that far from where I live. So it was good. So I went every day, 5 days a week. The first 3 weeks, it was start getting red, and my body react in the sense that I got more tired. And then toward the end of it, my whole chest, the whole right side, it's all red, and it's miserable. It's not like a chemo. It's not as bad as chemo, but it wasn't pleasant. So I did not work. I think back then, because I tried to take care of myself, and also Dad scared too. So when he's scared, he left me alone and he went to see his friend. But we have food to eat. And then, after that, it went well. So nothing happened. But the doctor told me the consequence of it after the lumpectomy. The Dr. Bowie, I still remember him. He was from Hawaiian. He was the one who said, I want to do mastectomy because he just graduated as a surgeon. And I said, no, you're not going to cut me. Just take that lump out and that's it. So it went well. Everything, it affected my body, my breast. Later on, it shrink more than half of the size of the regular. And that's what they say already. So I have conscious of my body because from the radiation, I cannot dress like normal. I keep buying like a stuffed sponge to put my boobs even so it won't look one side big, one side small. And I think that's another inferior feeling of me myself, that I'm imperfect, I'm not normal. So I put up with that, and I do anything just to keep him with me. And that's why life go on. And then after 1 year, at that time I still have to attend the school. School is a must. Back in the 80, 81, because I transferred to Cal State Hayward. I might drop some classes, but then I have to pay. So every quarter I have to pay. But it wasn't as bad back then, $49, $48 per unit, and become $50-some and $60-some. But I make enough money to pay them all. So, and then the graduate come in the 81, 82, something like that. I graduate in 82. Ursula graduate first because she got the nurse, but she also go in there for practicing. Even though she deaf, she have problem struggling to get the degree of nursing because nobody could hire her
but because she handicapped, she cannot listen to any heartbeat. If you check the the vital sign, she only can read, but thing inside you have to hear. But but that's one good thing that she knows she handicapped, and I feel myself also handicapped. So we associate to each other so well. I always, hang around her house, helping her and study at her place. And she helped me quite a bit in English. She's from Germany. Her dad, her mom from Germany. And he's a scientist, but they all live out in Seattle. They have the house up there. But her house out in Walnut Avenue in Walnut Creek. So that one thing I'm lucky, I got all the good friends that helped me out, go through all those things. And then when I graduate, I start looking for job. But because, of course, again, I could not apply any job because I don't have green card. I try B of A, I try everything because I graduate as a finance. But every job that I apply, they need the resident, and I don't have it. So what I did was I keep doing all the housekeeping. And that's when I think she also told me in Rossmore, they got lots of patients that I can go work. Of course, you have to pass the gate, and then you have to have somebody, the resident, call at the gate and said, oh, Ms. Lek is coming, my unit, this address, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I become more involved in Rossmore, the retired home for all the wealthy people, and because it's quite expensive, but they pay me well. Back then I make good money. In the early 80s, I make like $10 an hour, and the minimum wage probably $5, $6. So I make good money, and it's all cashed. So I went to Mrs. Larmer. I don't know if you remember Bill Larmer, and then Bill and Nancy Larmer. They love you. When I worked for a long time, I mean, that's the place that I met Bill Larmer, and I have you in the 84, but I got pregnant in 83. So, see, I got radiation 2 years, right? And the doctor wanted me to abort the pregnancy because they said it will not be good. So I graduated already. I didn't have any job, so I do the housekeeping, and then I pregnant my son, and then I'm still working. And I still doing all the housekeeping job and some other job. I can't remember, odds and end things. So, but then toward the end of pregnant, well, the beginning is they try to make me go abortion, but I didn't. But when I become pregnant on the 6th, 7th month, I will suffer because the pregnancy on the breast side try to stretch. It's hot every day and it's painful. So I almost cry every day because I told the doctor I make a mistake. I like to have abortion, but the doctor said, no, the baby 6, 7 months, you cannot do that. You kill the baby. I mean, they said, we told you in the first 2, 3 months. I did not wanted it. I did not know. And besides, I gained so much weight because I didn't do much, just gained like 40 pounds, which I should not do that. But anyway, it's all in the past. It stretched out and I cried, so I didn't really work much, I think, because my body wasn't well equipped. When I was with Dad in 79 and 79, 80, I got pregnant, but then I have to do abortion because Dad said he wasn't ready. So you have one actually older sibling if I keep it, but because your father always said no, we cannot keep it because he's still in school, and I was also in school. But when I'm pregnant, you already graduate in 83. After I graduate, I take care of myself and my body, try to changing, adapt to the normal life. Even though at that time my breast wasn't that bother me no more. After the radiation 6 weeks, I just let it be, and then be careful with the food and eating, and the heat, the radiation, the heat inside of me went down and it went away. The redness is also gone, but later on it kept shrinking slowly.
I can tell from my bra, it gets looser and looser when the years go. And when I pregnant you, the breast side on the radiation side tried to engorge and make milk, but it couldn't. It could not. And then I have a painful side of the breast all the way to the rib cage and whatnot. And besides, I gained 40 pounds. So the baby, you were like 8 pounds, 12 ounce, almost 9 pound baby. You were the biggest one. From Lynn less than 8 pounds. So, you know, the first pregnancy, I thought, oh, I got to eat well and all these things. It ended up, I didn't do much, and I just gained like a balloon. So that's it. I mean, graduate in 81, 82, and I pregnant in 83. So after radiation, you know, I concentrate in working and again, and then I get pregnant. I can't remember why I didn't do much. I can't remember. When I'm pregnant, I try not to do much because I was in pain. So I said, done. That's it.
Okay. All the story that I'm talking is before I was 15 years old, before I left Thailand. And I have lots of fun. So I know how to join the groups with the whole family. Whenever the servant want to go somewhere, I always follow, tag along. Like when we go to the Ngan Wat, the temple party, I always tag along with them. I'm pretty nosy. I go everywhere with everybody. And I enjoy it. I like to see things. When I was young, growing up, I always loved to see stuff. And helping everybody. So I also work a lot with the servants, so I know how to do all the cookings. And that's when it was, you know, it wasn't that bad. I mean, studying wasn't my cup of tea. I never liked to study that hard, but I tried to get a good grade, and that's all it was. But I like to be with people more than anything else. So, I mean, from like the buses we went, I mean, we have fun. Every year my brother did that. I follow him every year. And I always said, big brother, I need this. Here Tong, here Pig, I want this and this and that. And they always treat me well, I guess because they see me as a cute person and a sweet person. I always talk nice to people. Let's see, what else? Yeah, when travel, yeah, I got chance to go outside. And also, we went to Bang San. My dad always take my mom to her old house to see all the relatives. That's another place, Chonburi. We always travel over there every year. So we travel a lot. ใครวะ